Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Coffee with Coletta. So, I hope that you have your coffee, hot chocolate, tea, whatever it may be, right? So that you can get your caffeine dose of life insurance. Okay, guys. So, today's topic is what if funeral costs increase after you purchase your final expense plan? Okay, let me say that again. What if funeral cost increase after you have purchased your final expense plans? Well, you do have some options, okay? And you want to understand that that does happen. Inflation also happens in the funeral industry too. So it's not just, groceries or clothing or technology. Inflation happens on in the life insurance in the burial industry as well. Okay. Not necessarily life insurance because that's based on your health and your age. However, burial costs, funeral costs, they do increase. And the more services and different parts of the funeral that you want, the higher that's going to be. So, but let's just talk about this today. What if it increased? Okay. Take a sip of your coffee if you haven't already. Also, before I continue, if you have not started following me or subscribing, depending upon where you're seeing this video at, go ahead and do so that you can get your caffeine dose of life insurance and you're not sitting out here not knowing what to do, okay? I do currently specialize in certain states. Take a look at the description. Keep that in mind as well. But check the description box or the profile, depending upon where you're seeing this video, because that'll update as we go along. I had to take a sip of coffee there. My goodness. This is hot. I don't know if you guys can see that. Look at, you see the smoke coming out? If you look really closely, you'll see it. Look, read the cup. It says, I don't know if it's backwards for y'all, but it says, I turn coffee into policies. Yeah, I do. So, it's good. Anyways, so I turn coffee into policy. So let's get right into it. Because you guys know this is a real deal. And if anybody now is like, get to the point, this and that, listen. I enjoy my clients, my audience. I enjoy you all being here. And I talk to you like a regular person. We're not here to just, like this is just, I'm a real person. You're real people. We're going to talk about this and keep it real. Like, I think I don't know if you guys can see it. I did waste a little bit of like coffee when I was kind of getting ready today. Have coffee on me, but hey, we keep it real. That's what we're doing, right? We're keeping it real. So we keep everything, genuine here. We explain it to you in a way that you understand. And I'm here to help those that need the help. You may not have as much savings put together, but you know that your final expenses need to be taken care of one way or the other, right? So you're trying to figure out how you can get that done without stress on you or your kids or your loved ones, your spouse, or anyone that would be your beneficiary. So that's what you're here to know, how to do it and what your options are and a lot of the things too. Okay, so but let's get right into today's topic. Like I said, is what if the funeral costs increase after you have purchased your final expense plan? Well, you have a couple of options. Okay, I want to go over with you guys. First off, like I said, we cannot stop inflation. It goes for this industry as well. It goes for the burial industry as well. Okay. The funeral homes want their money like yesterday. Okay. When that happens, they are the only ones. When that time happens for you, your family members, and if you guys have been to funerals or you've had to come up money for funerals, they want their money like yesterday. Listen, if you don't have the life insurance plan and policy is the only company that's going to be giving you money, whereas everybody else is going to be looking for money. Yeah, it's cost. We need money. We need money. We need money. This has to be paid for. This has to be done. This has to be taken care of. The person has to be flown here. That's a whole nother topic. But everybody needs money. The only person that's giving you money at this point is going to be your policy. Okay, so make sure you have that in place. But if that increases, for one, we cannot change inflation. It's going to happen. So what you can do, your options are, you can either one, and I'll let you know overall what it depends on your situation, what I would suggest, but just generally speaking on this video, I'll let you know what I suggest. But your options are, you can whatever policy you have, you can take that plus contact your insurance broker a broker or agent. Okay. And by the way, I'm an insurance broker, which means I have access to different carriers, which in that case are different insurance companies, to see which one that will qualify you and approve you, and also has the rate that's close to what you're looking for, if not better. Okay. So I can check amongst a lot of them. That's the difference between me being a broker versus an agent, because an agent only has whatever product that company offers, and that's it. Me as a broker, I'm able to look at a variety of companies and, see what's best for you. Okay. So now we've got that out the way. So let's get into it. So you have options. Okay. You can take the policy that you have, right? And then you can contact your insurance broker and you can say, hey, I have this, but it's been a couple years, or it's been years, and I see things have increased. They're going up, and I want to make sure I have enough. You can at that time either purchase an additional smaller version of a portion, or whatever you can afford, an additional final expense. The other option, you can purchase an additional term. Now, again, this is only if you qualify, because you already have the final expense and you just want to tack on a term just to have a higher coverage to add on to what you have. That's if you qualify for. So put an asterisk next to that one for the term, because if you already are getting final expense, you're probably at a certain age, maybe certain health conditions. So a term you may or may not qualify for. It just depends on how old you are and your health issues. But if you're accounting, you may be able to, but it's very rare to add on to that at that time. So far you can get an additional final expense. You can get an additional term. Possibly, we're going to put an asterisk by that, depending upon your age, your health, and all of that. So just keep that in mind. That's a possibility, but it's very rare. Or what you can do is you can cancel the one. Well, before you cancel the one you have, purchase another final expense plan that's a higher. Maybe see what your agent can, or your broker can qualify you for based on your current health and age. It's going to have to be ran again, your health questions or whatnot, to see what you qualify for. And maybe they can let you know, hey, here's a policy, it costs a little bit more, but you have more coverage. Find something that's within your budget. You can do that as well. So you do have a couple of options. Okay. Me personally, again, it does depend, because there's not a one size fit all. I do want to clarify that. Okay. But if you have that and you see, hey, things are increasing, it depends on your situation. If you can afford it, then go ahead and just get pre-qualified, especially if your health is still the same or has gotten better, and find out what you can qualify for that larger coverage of policy, get a larger benefit, and go ahead and make sure that one is approved. And then you can get rid of the other one. That, again, this is with the same broker. I'm not saying, get what some other agent has done. I'm just saying replacing that one for another one that has a higher benefit to it, because you just want one policy. You don't want to keep having a lot of different payments coming out. Or if that's not an option, your broker should be able to look at your current one that you have, your current plan, and then have you another one that's an increase, and make sure those dates align with the current plan that you have. Whatever that payment date is, let the new one draft out on that same date. So you're not like you have, a payment here, a payment there. They're coming out on the same time. So that's something that you can do too. So there are a lot of options. So basically, yeah, those are your options. If you figure out and you see that funeral costs are increasing in the policy that you have, you just know it's just not enough. You have those options. Purchase another final expense at a smaller, coverage, or get, pre-qualified again and just purchase a whole new one that will be more than enough, that will cover it. And then you can not have the other one and then just keep that one. Or if you need to buy term, if you get approved for it, you can get a smaller one of those. Just know that term is going to expire, and that's just going to be for a short period of time, whereas this coffee is really good. My ultimate, I would say, like, again, it's all based on a lot of things, but when you're sitting down with your broker, don't rush it. Have that conversation. Figure out what you can afford. Figure out at that moment, what can you afford? What can you, at the most coverage that you can get for what you can afford on a monthly basis, okay? Unless you're paying quarterly or, every 6 months or something like that, because you can do that too. But that would be the best course of business, to speak with your broker about that, and, let them know what you can afford. And when they give you the options, be honest and understand. More than likely, like I said, if you're looking at this for final expense, you're at a certain age, you don't have much savings saved up, and, you know, either you had a term long time ago, it expired, you thought you still had a policy, you didn't know that that didn't last forever. You were used to paying such a very low premium. Now you're at this big age and you have health problems and you're older, and you've had surgeries on your knee or whatever, your body, and or heart attacks or whatever the case may be, and you expect to still pay the same thing you paid 2 decades ago. That's not going to happen. 2-3 decades ago, it's not going to happen, right? Or 4 decades. It just depends. So the thing is, that's not going to happen. So you've got to be realistic too, but that's a whole nother topic. But right now, those are your options, guys. And so thank you for tuning in. Definitely fill out the form below if you're wanting to get a call back. You want to have a conversation over coffee. Make sure you have your coffee, hot chocolate tea. If you want to have a quick conversation over the phone to discuss what your options are, make sure you have time. Make sure you're honest, because that's the only way to really help you, because lying in the application is not going to help you. And eventually at some point through the application process, information is going to be ran, and then things are going to show up. So not show up, but it'll definitely show us that you said this, we're saying you should qualify for this, but once it's being ran through the system, it's coming back as no, you're denied. So we don't want that, right? I try to get all of my clients to be approved for everything, because we take our time. I tell them to be honest with me so I can find out. Remember, I have different carriers, different insurance companies that I can take a look at. So be honest, so I can find that one that's based on your health and age that will more than likely approve you. Now, if the very small case that you don't get approved, I'm able to pivot over to a different company for the most part, okay, to get you something. Now, you have to understand at that point, is it going to be a little bit higher, or is it going to be is it going to be higher in the premium cost, or is it going to be a little bit lower in the coverage? That's a possibility. But again, that's a whole nother subject, people. So today we are talking about, like I said, what happens if you realize that funeral costs increase after you have purchased your final expense policy. So you have options. Those are options that you can do. So if you have a broker that you've already been working with, contact them and let them know that. If not, I am here to help. Definitely, I am available in Georgia, Louisiana, and Texas at the moment. But of course, continue to watch the updates here in the profile and description box, wherever you're seeing this video, because that updates over time as well. So I may get other licenses in different states, depending upon where my clients are. And of course, guys, this is all done over the phone. There's no medical exam, but there are medical questions, okay? So let me clarify that. No medical exam, but medical questions. And again, that's another video. But thank you guys for tuning in. So grab your coffee, hot chocolate tea, whatever it may be, and get your caffeine dose of life insurance. Make sure you tune in. Make sure you subscribe. Follow me. And I will talk to you guys soon.